Welcome, brave souls, to our spine-chilling tour of the best haunted houses in the USA. If you dare, join us as we explore these eerie locations where the paranormal is just a heartbeat away. From coast to coast, America is packed with haunted houses, each with its own creepy history and resident ghosts. We're talking about places where the lights flicker for no reason, shadows move in the corner of your eye, and disembodied whispers send chills down your spine. We'll be your skeptical but easily spooked guides through the shadowy corridors and creaking floorboards of America's most haunted. We'll delve into the history, the legends, and maybe, just maybe, capture some evidence of the paranormal. So buckle up, grab your EMF readers and night vision cameras, and get ready for a wild ride through the haunted heart of America. Let's get spooky. Our first stop takes us to San Jose, California, home to the sprawling, enigmatic Winchester Mystery House. This architectural oddity is more than just a house. It's a labyrinth of endless hallways, staircases that lead to nowhere, and doors that open to brick walls. The story goes that Sarah Winchester, heiress to the Winchester rifle fortune, was haunted by the spirits of those killed by her family's firearms. A medium told her to continuously build onto her home to appease these spirits, and boy did she ever. For 38 years, construction never stopped, resulting in a 160-room mansion with bizarre features like windows overlooking other rooms and doors that open to sudden drops. Some say Sarah's restless spirit still wanders the halls, forever seeking peace from the constant construction she orchestrated. One of the most infamous features of the Winchester Mystery House is its abundance of staircases that seemingly lead to nowhere. Imagine ascending a grand staircase only to find yourself hitting a dead end, a wall where the next floor should be. These architectural oddities weren't just Sarah's quirky design choices, they were supposedly built to confuse the spirits. Think about it, ghosts aren't exactly known for their navigational skills. A few wrong turns on a never-ending staircase, and they might just give up and haunt someone else. Some visitors claim to have felt a presence following them up these staircases, an unseen entity brushing past them in the darkness. Is it Sarah, still making her rounds through her ever-evolving home? Or is it just the wind whistling through the countless corridors? Legend has it that Sarah Winchester had a seance room built in the house, a place where she could communicate with the spirits, attempting to appease them and gain their guidance. It's said that she would hold seances every night, seeking forgiveness and understanding from the spectral realm. While the exact location of this seance room remains a mystery, some visitors and staff members have reported strange occurrences in certain areas of the house. Cold spots, disembodied voices, and the feeling of being watched are just a few of the unsettling experiences reported within the Winchester walls. Whether you believe in the supernatural or simply appreciate a good architectural mystery, the Winchester Mystery House is an undeniably intriguing place. It's a testament to one woman's obsession, grief, and perhaps her desperate attempt to find peace amongst the spirits. Next, we travel to the breathtaking yet undeniably creepy Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado. Nestled amidst the majestic Rocky Mountains, this grand hotel holds a dark and fascinating past, one that inspired Stephen King's iconic horror novel The Shining. King and his wife Tabitha were the only guests at the hotel back in 1974, just before it closed for the winter. Wandering the empty halls, King couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, of unseen presences lurking just beyond his sight. That night he had a vivid nightmare that would become the seed for his chilling tale. While the movie adaptation of The Shining was filmed at the Timberline Lodge in Oregon, the Stanley Hotel remains synonymous with the story. Room 217, the most haunted room in the hotel, is said to be haunted by the spirit of a former housekeeper who died there under mysterious circumstances. Guests and staff at the Stanley Hotel have reported hearing phantom piano music echoing through the empty halls, particularly from the grand ballroom. Some even claim to have seen translucent figures dancing gracefully across the floor, their spectral forms swaying to the music only they can hear. Speaking of music, Lord Dunraven, a former owner of the hotel, was known for throwing lavish parties. He was quite the character, this Lord Dunraven. Rumor has it he was a bit of a scoundrel known for his gambling habits and perhaps a few too many dalliances with the ladies. Some believe that Lord Dunraven, along with other former guests and staff members, never truly left the Stanley Hotel. Their spirits are said to linger, replaying moments from the hotel's vibrant past like ghostly echoes trapped within the walls. One of the most frequently reported paranormal occurrences at the Stanley Hotel involves luggage. That's right, luggage. Guests have reported seeing ghostly bellhops handling luggage, their spectral forms gliding through the halls as if attending to unseen guests. And if you thought dealing with lost luggage at the airport was bad, try explaining to a ghost that their bags are in the wrong room. It's probably best to just avoid eye contact and hope they don't try to tip you with ectoplasm. Whether you're a horror movie buff, a paranormal enthusiast, or simply looking for a unique and memorable stay, the Stanley Hotel is a must-visit. Just remember, if you hear the faint sound of children laughing in the hallway, it's probably best to just stay in your room and order room service. Alright, so, picture this. Philadelphia, 1829. You're a criminal, right? Maybe you stole a loaf of bread, maybe you jaywalked with a little too much swagger, who am I to judge? Anyway, you end up in this brand spanking new prison called Eastern State Penitentiary. This place was like the luxury prison of its time. If luxury meant solitary confinement and the constant threat of going completely bonkers. They called it the Pennsylvania system, which sounds way too fancy for a system designed to make you wish you were never born. The idea was to use isolation and silence to encourage reflection and hopefully rehabilitation. But, you know, probably mostly just drove people crazy. And when I say isolation, I mean isolation. These guys didn't even see their own shadows. They ate alone, exercised alone, and even had their own individual outdoor exercise yards. They were basically living the 2020 quarantine dream, except way less sourdough bread and Zoom calls. So, naturally, a place designed to make you go bananas becomes a hotbed for paranormal activity. Shocking, right? Eastern State is crawling with ghost stories, and some of them are pretty wild. One of the most famous stories involves a creepy encounter back in the 1940s. A locksmith was working in cell block 4, they numbered the cell blocks like it's a bad sequel, and he claimed he was suddenly overcome with this intense feeling of dread. I'm talking goosebumps, cold sweats, the whole 9 yards. As he turned to leave, he swore he saw faces peering at him from several of the cell doorways, and just like that, poof, they were gone. Then there's the story of the silhouette of a guard that people have reported seeing in one of the towers. This guard apparently paces back and forth, keeping watch over his spectral prisoners, I guess. Talk about dedication to the job, even in the afterlife. But the thing that really gets me about Eastern State isn't even the ghost sightings, it's the sounds. Visitors and staff have reported hearing all sorts of creepy noises throughout the years. Footsteps echoing down empty hallways, distant whispers, disembodied laughter. It's enough to make you want to sleep with the lights on for a week. Paranormal investigators have actually captured some of these sounds on recordings, and let me tell you, they are pretty freaky. Some experts believe these unexplained noises might be residual energy left over from the prison's dark and troubled past. All those years of suffering, anger, and despair just hanging in the air like a bad smell. So if you're ever in Philadelphia and you're looking for a good scare and maybe a little history lesson about the horrors of solitary confinement, Eastern State Penitentiary is definitely worth a visit. Just, maybe bring some earplugs. Alright folks, buckle up because we're heading down south to St. Francisville, Louisiana. This is where you'll find the Myrtles Plantation, a gorgeous antebellum mansion with a history as dark as a Louisiana bayou at midnight. Built in 1796, this place has seen it all. Whispers of a Native American burial ground, a whole mess of deaths within its walls, and enough spooky tales to make your hair stand on end. I mean, come on, they even have their own on-site graveyard. You know it's gotta be haunted with a graveyard that convenient. Some people think those trees are beautiful. Me? I see those things reaching out, just waiting to grab some unsuspecting tourist. But hey, maybe that's just me being my usual paranoid self. But seriously, the Myrtles Plantation has been investigated by paranormal teams more times than I can count, and let me tell you, they've got some pretty compelling evidence. We're talking EVPs, weird shadows, and full-on apparitions. Now let's talk about the star of the show, the ghost that everyone wants a piece of Chloe. Legend has it that Chloe was a slave on the plantation who, let's just say, had a complicated relationship with the owner. Rumor has it she was his mistress, but when she got a little too big for her britches, he chopped off one of her ears. Can you imagine? Talk about a bad breakup. Anyway, Chloe got her revenge by baking a poisoned birthday cake. Now, historians will tell you that there's no real evidence to support this whole Chloe story. But, and this is a big but, guests and staff at the Myrtles Plantation have reported seeing a woman in an old-fashioned green turban, which Chloe was known to wear to cover her, injury. Coincidence? I think not. But then again, I'm also the guy who believes in the Mothman, so take that with a grain of salt. But Chloe's not the only ghost throwing a permanent house party at the Myrtles Plantation. Oh no, there's a whole cast of characters who apparently never checked out. Guests have reported seeing children peering out the windows, a young boy who likes to play pranks, and even a ghostly dog. And if you're really lucky, you might just catch a glimpse of William Winter, the former owner who was shot on the porch and then, get this, managed to crawl all the way inside before dying. Talk about dedication. So yeah, the Myrtles Plantation is basically a paranormal playground. If you're brave enough to spend the night, be warned, you might just end up sharing your room with a few unexpected guests. And hey, if you see Chloe, tell her I said hi. Next up on our haunted road trip, we're making a pit stop in sunny San Diego, California. Don't let the palm trees and beaches fool you though, because this city's got a dark side too, and that dark side is called the Whaley House. Now this place is like the full house of haunted houses if the Tanner family was a bunch of restless spirits. See, the Whaley House was built in 1857 by Thomas Whaley, a prominent businessman, on land that was, you guessed it, used as a graveyard. I mean, you'd think people back then would learn to stop building stuff on top of burial grounds. But hey, I guess they didn't have HGTV to warn them about bad juju. Anyway, Thomas, his wife Anna, and their 6 kids all lived and died in this house, along with a few other unfortunate souls. And guess what? They all decided to stick around for the afterlife. One of the most famous residents of the Whaley House is Yankee Jim Robinson. Now Jim was a bit of a scoundrel, known for stealing and counterfeiting. He was eventually caught and hanged right there on the property. Talk about a bad day at the office, am I right? Visitors and staff have reported seeing Yankee Jim's ghostly figure wandering the halls, looking as dapper as ever in his trademark top hat. Some say he's still searching for his lost loot. But Jim's not the only one causing a ruckus. People have also claimed to see the ghost of Thomas Whaley himself, often smelling his signature cigar smoke. Personally, I wouldn't mind a ghostly cigar buddy, but that's just me. The Whaley House is so haunted it's been featured on pretty much every paranormal show out there. And for good reason. We're talking cold spots, disembodied voices, objects moving on their own, the whole 9 yards. One of the creepiest stories is about a young girl who supposedly died after breaking her neck while playing on the property. Visitors have reported seeing her ghostly apparition, still playing and giggling, completely unaware of her untimely demise. So, if you ever find yourself in San Diego and have a hankering for some paranormal activity, swing by the Whaley House. Just, maybe leave the Ouija board at home, okay? You don't want to be responsible for opening up some interdimensional portal or something. Well, there you have it, folks. 5 of the most haunted houses in the good old US of A. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for a stiff drink and maybe a nightlight or two. Thanks for joining us on this haunted journey. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more spine-tingling adventures. Until next time, stay spooky.